El Capo by Jim Jones. It's been about a year since we last heard from Jim Jones. The 7th album, El Capo, is produced entirely by the Heatmakers via Jones's label Vamp Life. How does El Capo compare to Wasted Talent? How do we feel about it? Here's our honest review of El Capo by Jim Jones.
El Capo by Jim Jones. Man, when I heard that Jim Jones had a new project and my homeboy was like, yo, some good Jim music right here, you should check it out.
Some good
I damn near rolled my eyes because I was like, Jim Jones? I know Jim Jones is heavy in the gym right now, but I'm going to check it out.
But
I'm
what
glad
you
I
said,
did check it out.
This is like some good gym music. I feel like that's what everybody says about Jim Jones. This is like, yo, there's some good Jim Jones music right here.
No, like Jim.
Oh, like Jim.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, I feel that. I thought you said some good gym because I usually hear people be like, yo, that's some good gym right there. Because, you know, we'll talk about that later.
Nah, but I thought I was just like, yo, it is pretty damn dope. So I'm glad I actually listened to it, man. How you feel about this album artwork?
It's cool. I like the design of it and everything. And I just like the colors. Like the red really stands out, you know, on the black kind of canvas or whatever like that. But it's really dope. I like it.
Yeah, I think it's cool. It looks like man, I don't remember what the video game is with the luchador that you got to use.
The more recent one?
Yeah.
Guacamole.
Yeah, looks like
okay.
something from that.
Okay. Yeah.
Or from Coco.
Yeah,
like one
true.
of those type of I forget what I mean. I feel like that's Hispanic culture.
The Day of the Night.
Day of the Dead.
Day of the Dead.
Day of the Dead.
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah.
It looks like something from the Day of the Dead. Got the red roses.
Yeah.
Got the VL on the top of the head for Vamp Life for his label, and got Heatmakers on the corner, which I thought was dope. The flow of this project, man. The flow of this project is Heatmakers are back because I thought they were done. After like they had that long run with the Diplomats back in the day. I didn't think they could do anything and be relevant and like adjust their style enough to be relevant, but they sure as hell did. And then Jim Jones was actually, he sounded like he continues to get better from when he first came out.
I can agree with that. Yeah. I feel like, you know, the flow of this, man, is just the Heatmakers, yo. The production is crazy. Not to, you know, take anything away from Jim or nothing like that, but that's just what I came with this because I was never the biggest fan of Dipset and all that, but I always loved the production. I know that for a fact. So, yeah.
One glaring wink, everybody wearing pink. And I was in New York when that happened, and people were really wearing pink.
Oh,
bro.
I know. I believe it.
So they had the game on.
They were wearing pink
lock.
all the way in Michigan, too.
A word?
Yes.
Man. So, highlights, man. Look, I actually got a lot of highlights on this joint, man. Crystal Occasion started off the joint. The beat dropped in, and I was just like, yo, they got Jim Jones rapping over some shit right here, yo. And Jim came in. He laid it down. He killed it. I love the skits that are in between all of the songs. That shit is fire. Make No Issue of It was cool. NYC featuring Fat Joe. That beat is crazy. Fat Joe gave you a real dope beat. I love Good Die Young. They sampled the same joint that Jay-Z sampled on You Must Love Me, one of my favorite beats. Mark Scribella, is that how you say that? Scribbles?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
But
y'all know I'm bad at pronouncing. I'm not even trying to pronounce it. I just glanced at the name and just said stuff. But he sounds amazing on this song.
Yes.
State of the Union featuring Rick Ross, one of the dopest beats on this project. That joint sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Pity in the Summer featuring Cameron, man. It's so
Hard.
good to hear him and Cameron back together. They killed it. Cameron killed it. Nothing Last featuring Fabulous, man. I hate you little niggas just like Tariq.
Man, I was cracking up, yo.
I figured you was going to fall out when you heard
laughing,
that.
Bro. It threw me off. For real.
I forgot I hated Tariq until I heard that line. I was just like, you know what? I do hate that little nigga. You know what I'm saying? I forgot. It's been away for too long.
Yeah.
Mama Made It is actually really dope. Sports Car featuring Currency. Him and Currency actually got some really good chemistry. And the last song I want to talk about is Song Boxing, which is really short, but he straight destroyed that joint. I thought that was really good. I'm not saying that there weren't any other good songs. I'm just saying I don't want to name everything on the album.
Yeah, man. From like, what, track 1 and 5, 1 and 6, 7, man, I was just like, yo, this production is hitting. And one thing is just like, with me, I've never been the biggest Jim Jones fan. If anything, like I said, I wasn't in the Dipset, but if anything, it was always I was listening to Cameron or Jewels or somebody like that. I wouldn't pick Jim Jones, but on this, he sounds more like you said, his growth and everything. I'm feeling his punchlines a little bit more. I don't know, his cadence just sound overall better. So hearing him come in on the first track was dope. Love of the Hustle was hot. NYC, I was just like, yo, both of him and Fat Joe went in. Good Die Young, I love that production, and I love Mark on the hook. State of the Union, even though Ross was using that same flow, the song was fire. It worked. It was really cool. Pity in the Summer has to be like one of my major standouts on the album. I just thought that song was great. Rain on the hook was really, really dope. Nothing Lasts, yo, he killed me with that Tariq line. I was crying. Sports Cars I thought was really dope. And Don't Know What They Took Him For with Jadakiss, I thought was really hot.
Lowlights, man. Look, man, I got 3 issues that I want to bring up with this joint.
Okay.
2 of them are songs. So the first issue is My Era with Mano and Drama. It's just something about this song that just felt out of place to me. It just
What did? I want to know why.
I just didn't feel like it should have been on this project.
Do you feel like, because I thought Mano was dope.
No, I'm not saying it wasn't.
Yeah,
dope.
I know. I'm just saying, what was it about the song? It was just
I don't
the
know.
song itself?
It's not just that song. It's Cocaine Dreaming too.
I feel that.
And see, Cocaine Dreaming. You know what it is? My Era felt like a Mano song. And
Maybe
it's the
that's
same
why.
thing with Cocaine Dreaming. It sounds like a Dave East song.
Okay.
Like that's the songs Dave East excels on, and I didn't really care how Jim Jones was on it.
Yeah.
Like in Ball Greasy, I would have rather heard him rap. I didn't like the way he kind of gave us that dreary hook, Cocaine Dream.
Yeah.
Man. And I was just like,
this
is a
flat.
Dave East song.
Yeah.
Like this ain't a Jim Jones. This is a Dave East joint.
Okay.
So and if I could, I would remove those 2 songs from the project. And then my beef overall with the project is I felt like he dragged it on a little bit too long. Like if he would have knocked this down to like 12 songs, maybe 11 songs, man, this joint would probably be a classic. And Jim and the Heatmakers, man, they put some shit together with this. Like I did not expect this. I saw the album when it came out, and I initially didn't listen to it. And I know we liked the last joint somewhat, but I still was just like, it's kind of hard to see our artists continue to get better since its inception. Like I've been listening to Jim since the beginning. Like the first song I heard him on was Me, My Moms, and Jimmy off Cameron's first album, where Cameron had his mom rapping on the joint, and Jim Jones is on it too. And if you go back and listen to that, like you would laugh at Jim. And then you listen to the Diplomat stuff. There's times where I like what Jim did, and then there's times where I'm just like, yo, he's just on a beat, just talking.
I'm glad you said that.
And he's got so much better. Like there's a couple times where I felt like he was rambling, but overall, man, he did his thing.
Yeah, I think that's like one of my lowlights is the fact that while I do feel like he's gotten better, you know, in my opinion, from what my tastes are, I still feel like at time he is rambling, and I'm not really focused on what he's rapping about, if that makes any sense. Because I'm not trying to say the features killed him on this or nothing like that, but I found myself more impressed by what the features did on the beat than Jim Jones. Not to say that he did whack or horrible or anything, but it's just like, just sometimes when Jim Jones rapping, I don't really care for what he's talking about or how he's talking about it. But this has kind of gotten better. Songs that I really didn't care for, I actually didn't like Mama Made It. I thought it was boring. That's just me.
I can see that though.
That was just a little bit boring to me. What was it? Bread Right, I wasn't really feeling the song with Davies, Cocaine Dreaming. I didn't feel like it needed to be on there. And that's basically it. I don't think I had any other problems with the album. But yeah, that's just it, man. It's just like, I don't want to be like a lame, just be like, yo, I don't like Jim Jones, he sound whack. It's just sometimes I really can't get with him. But I think the production of this album kind of helped me carry along with his voice, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned that, because that leads into my final thoughts, man. Anytime you hear the Diplomat, because I felt like Cameron and the Diplomats overall have partially lost that once they stopped dealing with the Heatmakers.
Okay.
Like, because their golden, the Diplomats' golden age comes from Just Blaze and the Heatmakers, and there was a couple other producers, but once they kind of started doing their own thing and Cameron started dealing with other producers, some of them were good, some of the songs work, but as after you get past Purple Haze, it starts getting into different producers and styles of beats, and it doesn't sound as good listening to the Diplomats on that. Like Jim Jones, I know he was messing with Ron Browns for a while, you know, the Pop Champagne.
Yeah.
I hated that.
Yeah.
I hated it. I like We Fly High, of course. That was fire, but I hated Ron Brown's sound. Like his sound is like not all that good. But hearing the Diplomats back with the Heatmakers, like their chemistry is ridiculous. It's like hearing Bone Thugs with DJ Unique. You know it's gonna sound good. I need to hear more of this. I hope Cameron's next project is back with the Heatmakers, and I hope when Joel's gets out of jail, if they do a project, the Diplomats are doing it with the Heatmakers, because Jim sounded perfect on these beats, and I actually looked forward to hearing his verses after the songs. Like, you know, when I heard State of the Union and I heard him like, you know, my critics need to hear this. For anybody trying to judge my political awareness, I was just like, I'm liking the way he's putting his words together. Like he's getting better, man. Wasted talent. He took a step up. I like it.
Yeah, man. This has to be like one of the more interested projects I've been, you know, with Jim Jones in a minute. And the Heatmakers, man, they came away like, y'all just don't know. This production on this project just got me going, man.
One of the best produced projects of the year.
I believe so. And I feel like, you know, like you said, they back, and I feel like, man, it just felt so good to hear production like this. But Jim Jones did step it up. I like what he gathered here with all the artists that he worked with and everything. And more or less, I think he crafted a really great project that sounds really, really coherent and cohesive.
Final grade, man. Look, if you love New York sound and hip hop, that's what this is. This ain't the A Boogie with the New York rapper with the South sound. Like, no disrespect.
I feel you.
You know, like A$AP Rocky, like New York rappers that don't sound like New York. This is
New
York sounding hip hop.
Yeah.
If you still wearing baggy jeans and oversized t-shirts, you're gonna love this project. Like, I'm talking about love it. You still putting the do-rag on and you got the cape, you're gonna love this album. You know what I'm saying? If you in the gym, you're gonna love this joint. You know what I'm saying?
You're right. That's why I'm laughing. You're right though.
Yeah. For all of those people, man, you still wearing Timbs with shorts, you're gonna love this album, man. Go check this. Go download El Capo from Jim Jones. This joint is dope, man. I'm giving it a check for sure.
I don't know how to top that breakdown, but, you know, from a person who hasn't been a Jim Jones fan, I'm going to give this a check, you know. I still kind of feel like sometimes he's rapping about this, like, the same kind of manner, but the cadence and the production is all matching, and I feel like, you know, he just came out trying to prove something with this, like, yo, I'm still Jim, I'm still working out here, and I think he did prove that.
Vamp Life.